Hi, my name is Aaron Roth, and the poem I'm doing for my mock IOC is Stealing by Anne Duffy. The poem Stealing by Anne Duffy is superficially about the response of a speaker, presumably a thief, to the question, what is the most unusual thing you have ever stole? The speaker responds, the most unusual thing I ever stole, a snowman. On another level, the poem is about the speaker is about more than just the most ridiculous, unusual thing the speaker has ever stolen, but instead about the speaker's otherness of self, fragmentation of being, and the nature of the speaker's alienated and superfluous existence within the absurd. I will go through this poem stanza by stanza. Stanza 1 begins with a rhetorical question. The most unusual thing I ever stole, as a rhetorical response to the question asked of the speaker by the audience. A snowman, he responds. Then the important thing to notice is in this stanza that that throughout it is used imagery in a fragmented sense. Midnight is left alone. He looked magnificent, tall, white, mute beneath a winter moon. This use of enjambment, tall, white, mute beneath a winter moon, inside of an image which appears to be clear, is of course enjambed in order to give the sense that there is no clarity to what is actually going on. Furthermore, the use of mute is to make the snowman silent. Obviously, it's an inanimate object, but in this case, its silence allows the speaker to use it like a crucifix on which he can project whatever he likes upon it, and hang up upon it whatever he likes. In this case, he hangs up himself. He displays his alienation with "I wanted him a mate," as if he is alienated from himself, as if he is alienated and wants someone to feel connected with the reality. Then the snowman is connected to himself with a mind as cold as the slice of ice, and jammed again within my own brain. This enjambment is used to help convey the sense that the speaker is in fact fragmented in his own being, and at the same time uses the snowman as a foil for this. This character from this object which begins to symbolize him is done so in this moment by describing the snowman and himself with similar qualities. Moreover, the use of the semantic field, there's this use of a semantic field of winter imagery. A snowman, white, winter, cold, ice, is then used to describe what in fact he believes. These are the violent imagery of the slice of ice within his own brain is also crucial with describing himself and the snowman. In the second stanza, better off dead than giving in not taking what you want, again is enjambed. This nihilistic statement, as if his only sense of freedom, as it is in my opinion a reference to give me liberty or give me death. Better off dead than giving in, not taking what you want, is a nihilistic take on this. That in fact, his only sense of existence and freedom is the freedom by which he can exert the power, his own will upon that of others, which are weaker. The physical weight of the torso is at once the physical weight of the snowman, but also the physical weight of his own being. Again, semantic field is used to describe the cold and alienating world which he inhabits. Again, use of violent imagery in Jammed, a fierce chill piercing my gut, is again to create an unsettling image which is not fully together and joined. Part of the thrill was knowing that the children would cry in the morning. Is that again back to this nihilistic attitude towards life of the speaker, that in fact this image that he creates in his head, the thrill was knowing the children would cry in the morning, helps him understand his own existence through these fragmented images and the fragment of himself. Life's tough, though. Helps convey his overall sentiment towards life. The use of audio imagery with the cry also helps convey this message. In the third stanza, things turn more tangential. Sometimes I steal things I don't need. This goes back to the absurdity of the speaker's existence, where he feels that there is no meaning in life, but still searches to find some, knowing that there isn't any. I joyride cars to nowhere. This fragmented image again helps represent the fragmented nature of the speaker himself. I break into houses just to throughout this there is the use of looked, which was used in the first stanza as well, as if he is looking in on something which he is not part of. I break into houses just to have a look. In the next line, in a mucky ghost, I'm a mucky ghost. I leave a mess. Maybe pinch a camera. It is as if he has no means he doesn't really exist to himself or to others. And this making a mess is the residue of existence which he leaves behind. And that's it. Along with images of himself with a camera. In the next line, the watching of his own hand opening the door helps us is crucial in understanding that he feels that he is other to himself, that he is watching himself doing something. He is not in control. Existential forces are in fact in control. The otherness of self is similar to that of Arthur Rimbaud. I is another, j'ai une autre, is important here because he himself is in fact the part of the big other, not himself. He is other to himself and other to others. He does not identify with himself in this case. The stranger's bedroom and mirrors, I sigh, I like this. This self-aggrandizement in this tangent also displays that he sees himself as the absurd hero. The absurd hero, which is important in this case to see that he is also in delusion. The use of onomatopoeia of is also crucial in making this point. The fourth stanza, when he attempts to he returns back to the snowman and the thievery. Reassembled in the art, he didn't look the same. It is as if he cannot reassemble his own being or put himself back together. He is fallen like Humpty Dumpty, and not all the king's horses and all the king's men can't put him back together again. Then again, with the return with the violent imagery, I took a run at him and booted him. Again, the repetition of again and again is symbolic of the cyclical nature of his own actions. After the destruction of the snowman, again violent imagery is used to display his own self-destruction, my breath ripped out in rags. He himself acknowledges in a postmodern way a postmodern self-conscious way that it seems daft now. Looking back on it, this poem is written in retrospective, and he himself is able to be cynical about himself. Then I was standing alone amongst lumps of snow. This is important here because he is standing among the fragments of his own being because he has destroyed the snowman. Throughout this, the semantic field is used. Sick of the world with which this ends, similar to the second stanza, is helpful in displaying the sentiment with which he views the world. Now the fifth stanza. The sentiment again is displayed with this fragment of boredom. Mostly I'm so bored I could eat myself. This violent imagery is crucial in understanding is important in helping us understand that in his boredom he does become self-destructive without any purpose or any reason to live. I am so bored I could eat myself. This displays, in fact, similar to the biblical quote, "The idle time is the devil's plaything." So bored I could eat myself is that through this own boredom, he is self-destructive, consuming himself and consuming all other things. One time I stole a guitar I thought I might learn to play, is again his failure to create anything productive. The nicking of a bust of Shakespeare once and flogging it I think may explain the semantic field throughout the poem stealing. The cold imagery is similar to that of the winter of our discontent in Shakespeare's Richard III, which in this case is misinterpreted, similar to imagery Duffy had used previously in other poems, such as Education for Leisure, as in the uneducation and lack of purpose and lack of understanding of Shakespeare is crucial in understanding the lack of understanding of culture. Now, once again, the poem is finally summed up, but the snowman was the strangest, returning only to only the second time in which the subject is directly referred to. The strangest is again a mention of the otherness of self and fragmentation of being, because the snowman represents this. As he is the snowman, and the snowman is him, he finds himself strange. You don't understand a word I'm saying, do you? The use of rhetorical question for a final time is something the poem creates a cycle in which the speaker thinks. Throughout the stanzas, returning from answering the question to snowman, back to tangential, back to the snowman, and then again to tangential. We see the cyclical nature of the speaker's existence, and in fact, the entrapment of him within the absurdity of life. You don't understand what I'm saying, do you? Does not need an answer. Even though we can understand, we can barely come to understand what the speaker means. We can through analysis, but as it is assumed as it is displayed as something spoken, we can see that this is hard to understand and makes very little sense. In effect, attempting to display the world as something which is hard to understand, and for the speaker hard to deal with. Thank you very much.